Welcome to Cat Facts Funny. A small detail most people miss: why cats sit at eye level with you. There is a quiet moment that unfolds in many homes, one so ordinary that it rarely earns deliberate attention, and yet it reveals something surprisingly intimate about the relationship between you and your cat. You settle into the couch after a long day, or sit at your desk focused on a task, or lie back against your pillows in the evening, and within a short time your cat makes a subtle but deliberate choice. Instead of remaining at your feet or curled somewhere distant, they climb onto the back of the couch, onto the armrest beside your shoulder, onto the desk near your face, or perhaps onto the stair just above where you are standing, until they are no longer positioned below you but directly aligned with your gaze. They are at eye level, close enough that your eyes naturally meet, close enough that their presence becomes part of your immediate awareness. It rarely feels accidental, and it usually isn't. Elevation as instinct and security. To understand this behavior, we first have to acknowledge something ancient within cats: their relationship with height. In the natural world, elevation offers safety, visibility, and control, allowing a cat to survey movement, detect potential threats, and reduce the risk of surprise. Even indoor cats who have never encountered a predator still carry this instinctual wiring, and climbing remains one of the most reliable ways they regulate their sense of environmental security. However, while safety explains why cats like high places, it does not fully explain why they so often choose elevated spots that specifically align with your face. If height alone were the goal, the tallest bookshelf in the room would suffice. Yet many cats bypass higher options in favor of a position that brings them directly into your line of sight, suggesting that something more relational is guiding the decision. Eye level changes the dynamic. When you stand above a cat who is seated on the floor, the physical dynamic is unbalanced, with your body appearing large and towering while your gaze falls downward in a way that can feel imposing from their perspective. But when your cat rises to meet you at eye level, the interaction subtly transforms into something more equal, more horizontal, and more conversational in tone. Cats are exquisitely sensitive to eye contact because, in the animal world, a fixed stare can signal threat while softened gaze can signal trust. By positioning themselves at eye level, cats create the ideal conditions for nuanced facial communication, allowing them to observe the smallest shifts in your eyelids, the rhythm of your blinking, and the changes in your pupils as your emotions fluctuate. This alignment is not accidental. It enhances their ability to read you clearly and respond accordingly. The study of your face. Many people underestimate how closely cats observe the humans they bond with, yet cats are natural watchers, and your face is one of the most information-rich surfaces in their environment. From the floor, subtle expressions may be partially obscured by angle and distance, but at eye level your cat gains uninterrupted access to your micro-expressions. The tightening of your brow, the softening of your mouth, the shift in your breathing when something changes your mood. This observational closeness often reflects attachment rather than dominance, because cats who feel emotionally secure with their humans frequently seek vantage points that maximize shared awareness. Sitting at eye level allows them to monitor not only the room, but you, and in doing so they weave themselves more directly into your emotional space. Vulnerability and trust in close proximity. The face is one of the most vulnerable and expressive areas of the body for both humans and cats, which makes eye-level proximity especially meaningful. When a cat places their face inches from yours and remains there calmly, without tension or readiness to retreat, they are demonstrating a depth of comfort that requires trust. Your breath shifts unpredictably, your hands may move suddenly, and your expressions change constantly, yet they stay, often blinking slowly or leaning forward slightly as if closing the final inch of space. This closeness is not strategic positioning or subtle dominance. It is relational ease expressed physically. It reflects a history of interactions in which proximity has consistently felt safe, reinforcing the sense that your shared space is secure rather than threatening. Shared surveillance and quiet guarding. Another layer of this behavior lies in the dual purpose of elevation, because when positioned beside or slightly above your head, your cat often maintains a broader visual field of the room, while still keeping you within their immediate awareness. From the back of the couch or the edge of a nearby shelf, they can observe entrances, movement, and subtle environmental shifts, satisfying their instinct to monitor territory. While it would be excessive to describe this as deliberate protection, it does reflect a form of inclusion, because once you become part of your cat's internal map of home, you fall within the boundaries of what they track and monitor. Sitting at eye level allows them to balance instinctual surveillance with relational closeness, merging environmental awareness with companionship. The desire to be seen without demanding. There is also a simpler emotional layer beneath the instinctive and psychological explanations, and it centers around presence. By placing themselves at eye level, cats ensure that they are visible to you without needing to vocalize or insist upon touch. They insert themselves gently into your awareness, making it difficult to overlook them while still preserving their independence. Often, they do not ask for petting. They do not paw or meow. They simply sit, breathing steadily, sharing space without performance. For a species frequently labeled as distant, this understated positioning becomes a quiet declaration of companionship, one that says, without sound, that they prefer to exist near you rather than apart from you. What this says about your bond. When you step back and look at the pattern rather than the single moment, a deeper meaning begins to emerge. Your cat climbs when you sit, settles when you focus, and aligns themselves with your gaze not because they need something tangible every time, but because the shared visual connection itself has become meaningful. Over repeated days and months, this behavior reinforces a rhythm of closeness in which neither of you is demanding attention, yet both of you are quietly participating in each other's presence. Sitting at eye level becomes a physical metaphor for the kind of bond many cat guardians eventually build, one that is not loud or overly demonstrative, but steady and observant. It is a balance between instinct and intimacy, between the ancient need for elevation and the modern experience of shared domestic life. And in that balance, your cat communicates something simple but profound. They feel safe enough to meet you where connection happens most clearly, in the eyes. It is not dominance, it is alignment. One of the most persistent misconceptions about cats and elevation is the assumption that height automatically signals dominance, as though your cat climbing to eye level is an attempt to establish superiority within the household hierarchy. While that interpretation may sound dramatic, it rarely reflects the emotional reality of domestic cats living alongside humans. Unlike rigidly hierarchical pack animals, cats do not structure their bonds with people through constant power negotiation, and elevation in the home environment almost always serves instinctual comfort rather than social control. When a cat sits at eye level with relaxed posture, loosely tucked paws, softened eyelids, and slow, steady breathing, their body language tells a story of calm presence rather than challenge. True tension would look entirely different, expressed through stiff limbs, unblinking fixed staring, tail flicking, or subtle blocking of movement. In contrast, the cat who settles beside your face and quietly shares your visual field is not attempting to rise above you in status, but rather to align themselves with you in awareness. Elevation in this context becomes less about being higher and more about being synchronized, creating a shared horizontal plane where communication feels natural and unforced. What appears to be a power move is far more often an invitation into balanced space, where instinct and connection coexist without conflict. Notice where they choose to be. So the next time your cat climbs onto the back of the couch or the edge of your desk and quietly meets your gaze, pause for a moment before dismissing it as habit. Consider that what you are witnessing is instinct intertwined with trust, elevation blended with emotional closeness, and a small but intentional act of shared awareness. They are not trying to be above you. They are choosing to be with you, positioned in a way that allows safety and connection to coexist. Thank you for spending this time with me at Cat Facts Funny, where we explore the subtle psychology behind the behaviors most people overlook. If this reflection helped you see your cat in a new light, consider subscribing and joining us for the next episode, because sometimes the smallest adjustments in position reveal the deepest layers of the bond we share. Until next time, pay attention to where they choose to sit, because in the quiet world of cats, height is rarely just about height.